Hello, I'm here, I'm late. I had a wonky tripod. I feel like it's still not quite central. Um, it's not quite right, but anyway, I'm here. Oh, that's not too bad. Okay, I'm here, I'm live. I'm live on the Dixie Belle YouTube channel. This is my live slot every Tuesday. I go live, same time, same place, which is 2 p.m. in the afternoon here for me. I'm based in the UK, and I believe that's quite early in the morning for a lot of you. So if you haven't seen me before, my name is Connie. I am a furniture painter and my business is called Faff Designs. I am also a brand ambassador for Dixie Belle Paint. And like I say, I'm live here every Tuesday afternoon or Tuesday morning for you. And also you can watch these on the replay because they're all stored to a playlist. If you really want to watch me back, you are able to do so. So I'm a little bit late because my tripod wouldn't go straight, and I also had to fill my water bottle up, my Mr. bottle, because I'm going to need it today. I'm going to need this. So I just had to go and quickly fill that up with water. So what I'm going to do today is actually something that I've never done before. And I know it can be done. I've seen other people do it. I know it's possible. I know it works. I know it works very well. But it's just something that's I have personally never done. Also, disclaimer, if I sneeze or cough, it's because I've just got a bit of a head cold, that's all. I've also got my back door open because it's really quite a nice day today here in the UK. It makes a change, getting some fresh air in the workshop. But there's quite a lot of birds. I've got a gaggle of birds outside. I think they're wanting to pick up a few Dixie Belle painting tips. So if you hear any weird noises, it's the birds in the background. Also, we have peacocks. Now, I don't think the peacocks are close by today. Yesterday, they were incredibly close, and they make such a loud noise. I haven't heard them I haven't heard them this afternoon, so I think they've wandered elsewhere. So, but just in case you hear any odd noises, it's birds. Okay, so I actually picked this footstool up in a charity shop the other day, just a little local charity shop. It was a very cheap little footstool, and I thought this would be a really good starting point for me to use for painting, for chalk mineral paint. So I have painted fabric before, but I used silk paint. And the reason I used silk paint is because it was for outdoor cushion covers. And I put a stencil on them and it worked really well and they weathered very well. Hi Kimberly, hi Sharon. I've got hair in my eye. It's very irritating. But I've never actually done chalk mineral paint on fabric. And if you search chalk mineral paint on fabric, Dixie Belle Paint on fabric, you will find previous videos where this has been done. You'll probably also find people that know what they're talking about more than I do because they've done it before. However, we're going to give it a go because I like this little footstool. It's a cutie, but I do not like the colour. Also, the legs are plastic, which I'm not down with that. So what I thought I would do is paint it, and then on a separate live, maybe next week, I don't know yet, we could make the legs look like wood. So we'll do like a fake wood effect. And it's really easy, especially with legs like this. So I'll show you a little close-up of the fabric. So obviously fabric comes in lots of different types. It's made of lots of different things. This is like a velour-y fabric. It's nicely done. It's very well done. It's a nice sturdy little stool. You can see the legs are plastic, look. They're cute shape and they've got some nice detail on them, but they are plastic. So what you want to make sure is that your fabric is clean, free of dust. Give it a little bit of a vacuum, give it a hoover, make sure there's no dust in it. And make sure that there's not any sort of really bad staining. If there are, you can just use normal like fabric cleaner like wash powder and just give it a wipe and try and get rid of any kind of, like, just do a spot clean if there's any issues. This is actually in really good condition. It's just the colour's a bit blur. It's not really doing anything for me. So we're going to paint it pink, because why not? Why not? Now, the secret to painting fabric is water. What you're going to need to do is, to make it not really kind of crusty and stiff, is use water, because it dilutes the paint and it basically sits in the kind of fabric rather than forming over the top of it, if that makes sense, forming a coat over the top of it. So that's the theory behind painting fabric. And I've wanted to do this, like I say, for ages. It's just that I've never really had anything that's been suitable to paint that has been fabric. So this is the first time for me. If anyone's painted fabric before, I've got any tips. I'm also going to use this brush. I don't know if I'd prefer a natural bristle brush or whether this one's going to be okay. I think I might use a natural bristle brush. Where's my, bear with. That was the door creaking. I have to shut the door behind me because otherwise the dogs come in and cause a commotion. Anyway, I've got two brushes. I've got a synthetic brush. The bristles are quite long and soft on this. I think it'll be fine. But I've also got this. Now, these are actually... they're actually not a natural bristle brush, but they behave like a natural bristle brush. It's complicated. So this brush is now actually a synthetic bristle brush. But I love these brushes. So the bristles are a lot shorter for a start. The length of the bristles is shorter, which means they're not as sort of soft and flexible. They're a lot more rigid. So I think that might help me work it in. Don't know. I'm going to wing it. Let's wing it together. I don't even know if this is going to cover that well. I imagine I'm going to need to do at least a couple of applications because we're going to use a lot of water. And I've just seen something pop up about daylight saving and the clocks changing. So our clocks change... where are we? I think it's Sunday. This coming week, possibly. I don't even know. I've had a head cold. I'm surprised I rocked up on time, on the right day, in the right place. Can we just have a sense check that I am live on the Dixie Belle YouTube channel and not like some weird place on the internet? But yeah, our clocks change. It's always mayhem, isn't it? I'm rubbish at all that. Keeping track of what's going on with the time changes. It's hard enough as it is. Can we see that? Is the lighting rubbish? Do you want to sit that side? You sit that side. There we go. You sit that side and I'll sit this side. There we go. So I'm going to use the colour peony, because why not? Oh, your clock's already changed. Interesting. Okay, so we'll be back to... so is it 8 a.m. there at the minute? Even earlier? So, yeah, I always forget when it happens, because you were like 2 weeks ahead of us in terms of your clocks changing. Then our clocks change, and then we're back to how it should be. I wish I wouldn't keep changing the clocks. Life's confusing enough without changing times. Just don't. Oh, it's 9 a.m. It was always 9 a.m. I'm so confused. Okay, let's just paint. Let's just paint. So, what I'm going to do is not drench the fabric, but I am going to give it a good old mist with my mister bottle. And in here is just tap water. Just tap water. Nothing special. I'm going to start in this corner. I'm going to give it a good old drench. Like I say, there's been people before me that have done this and done it very well. I just thought this would be a really cool little project to try it out on. If it all goes wrong, we can always paint over it. I'm not re-upholstering it because I do not upholster. I actually tried to go on a course They just do it to create chaos. The time changing. I know. They do it to confuse me. I went on a course to try and teach myself to reupholster stuff, and it was too fiddly for me. I like to make a mess. I don't like to be precise. So I'm just going to whack it on. So this colour, I just said, is Peony. This is from the Chalk Mineral Paint range. And I've used, obviously, a lot of water on here. A lot more water than what I would use if I was painting wood. My brush is also a little bit damp because I used this earlier today and washed it out. So it's already got a little bit of water on it as well. But what you want to do is make sure that it's soaking into the fibres of the fabric and not sitting on top. So that's why it's going to go on and look a little bit scary to start off with. So you kind of just want to work it all in. And that moisture is going to help the paint sort of be worked into the fibres rather than sitting on top of them. So it sort of opens, the moisture opens the fibres up, if you like, and allows it to be more porous, so it holds on to the sort of watered down paint. See, I do know what I'm talking about. I just never put it into practice before. I've watched other videos back when I was a content creator, and I was in awe of all these people going live. I'd be like, you can paint fabric, wow. And then that was years ago, and I've never done it. Just do it. Just paint the fabric. I have always wanted to find a really dated chair, you know, like a wing back chair, like an old granny chair. I've always wanted to find one in fairly good condition in a charity shop for like 20p and buy it and paint it pink for my living room, because all my living room has got like green furniture in it, and pink and green obviously is the best combination in the world. Yes, you do, you can seal this. So from what I've seen by other people, and if anyone's had any other kind of techniques that they use to seal fabric, because there's people that do this an awful lot, and like I say, I'm much more qualified than I am to talk to you about it. Why am I doing this job again? Why am I here? No, I just don't want to say that I'm a pro at something when I'm not. I like to be transparent. I've never done this before. Okay? I'm not going to say that I'm good at something, I'm a pro at it, and I've done it before, when in fact that's not the truth. So, easy peasy spray wax. That's your friend with fabric, or so I'm led to believe. But we can do that next week, because obviously it's going to take a while to dry because I've saturated it so much. But we can definitely seal it next week, or I can do it on video and pop a little video on my social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, both, either or. So this first coat is going to look like the first coat of paint when you start painting. So as you know, the first coat of paint can usually be like, I've got a pile of books down here that are in my way. I've put them right in my way. The first coat of paint when you are putting it on a piece of furniture is quite often a scary coat of paint, because it can look a little bit patchy, a little bit streaky. You might be questioning why you even started it. It's happened to me before. But as you build up the layers, it becomes better coverage and more kind of even, and those streakiness issues start to go. And it's going to be the same with this. So this is just basically making sure that I've got some coverage on here so that I can build onto it. So the next coat of this, once it's dry, is obviously going to go on, and it's going to be a lot more better coverage. It's going to be a lot more sort of a solid colour, whereas this is now looking like a bit dirty, isn't it? Because obviously that sort of darky khaki green colour, olivey green colour, whatever it is, manky green colour, granny green colour, it's actually quite a nice green. I I like a bit of a granny green colour. So that colour is obviously going to be showing through, because all I'm essentially doing is watering down the paint that I'm putting on the fabric. It's just that I'm spritzing the fabric. But what you can also do is physically water your paint down. If you want to pour it in a pot, add some water to the pot, add some paint to the pot, make a paint wash. It's kind of going to do the same thing. It's just that I'm doing it this way round. So it's just going to start putting paint on the surface, but we are going to build coverage in the layers after this. And this is what's going to stop it from being crunchy and crispy, and basically stop it looking like fabric. So that's why you want to make sure that it's wet and you're working it into the fibres of the fabric. That way it soaks in and acts more like a dye rather than sitting on top, if that makes sense. So I'm hoping that this is going to be a really nice funky pink footstool. And if I'm going over the feet a little bit, it doesn't matter. These are plastic. I've already mentioned that at the start, but if you're just joining, the feet are actually plastic. And I'm going to put slick stick on them, because if you're painting anything that's plastic or really shiny, I'm going to use slick stick, which is your adhesion primer. And then I'm going to make them look like wood. So I'm painting fabric, and then I'm going to make plastic legs look like wood. Because why not? I don't want the legs to look like plastic. I want them to look like wooden legs. Excuse me, I'm just getting over a head cold. So if my voice goes a little bit weird, or if I cough or sneeze, hopefully I won't. I've got tissues. But if I do, that's why. You painted some wingback chairs, but it was an epic fail. Oh no, they were crunchy, and I've lost the comment. YouTube, why? Why'd you do this? So I love doing YouTube lives. They're great. But the comments go, but someone just said they did an epic fail. I hope this isn't going to be an epic fail. So I've got all the information that I need. I have also got 6 very knowledgeable brand ambassadors that I can call on if I need help. But I know Tracy from Tracy's Fancy. I know she paints fabric very successfully. I also know Amy's done it as well. I think Jodie might have done it. I feel like probably everyone's done it, just not me. I'm late to the party with the fabric thing. So I will tell you what I think of this. So far, it's looking like fabric. I think the key is to not use too much paint to start off with, and to use a lot of water. This is drenched, not drenched, but it's saturated with water. And I've also seen people, that's gonna cock right off there, isn't it? I've also seen people sand in between coats. I don't know if that's going to work with this fabric, because it's sort of like a, is it like a velour type fabric, like a velvety, proper granny fabric. I love it though. So yeah, I don't know if the sanding's going to help in between. But like I say, we're here to experiment with this today. I wanted to paint the fabric inside of some drawers, but was scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. I thought this would be a good sort of experiment today to see what happens. Because if it works, then I'm going to make it my mission to find a wingback chair and paint it pink and put it in my living room. But yeah, if it doesn't work, then I won't be doing that. So far, so good though. So far, so good. And I think, again, from what I've seen from other content creators and videos, is that to build it up really slowly. So Peony is actually one of those shades in the chalk mineral paint line that does usually require an extra coat of paint anyway. And that is because certain colours have very little white pigment in them. Peony's one of them because it's a really bright colour. Florida Orange is another one. There's a couple of others, but they go on as sort of with slightly less coverage than some of the other colours. And like I say, it's because they've got a lack of white pigment in them, which makes the final result really bright. You could paint the boring beige felt inside jewellery boxes. Yes, I have seen that done as well. I've also seen that done. In fact, I have some jewellery boxes up there. I don't know if they've got felt inside, but that'd be a cool one to do, because they are usually really, really boring and beige, aren't they? So yeah, what was I saying? Since I've had this head cold, I cannot think straight. I mean, I struggle at the best of times, to be honest, but it's even worse at the minute. So that feels that feels no different, aside from the fact that it's wet and now pink, slightly patchy. It actually feels like, it still feels like fabric. It's still got that like sort of velvety feel to it. So I'm just hoping that as it dries, it doesn't go too crunchy and crispy. But, oh yeah, that's what I was saying about bright colours. Hi, Lisa. Hi. I told you, I'm terrible at the minute. So brighter colours, when they have a lack of white pigment in them, which makes them super bright, there are a couple of colours in the Dixie Belle range that just require an extra coat of paint. Like I said, Florida Orange is one of them. I do find Peony one of them as well. Typically, reds are in that category, but none of the reds in the chalk mineral paint range have that issue. Honky Tonk Red is one of the best reds in my opinion, and it's such good coverage. But usually you do find reds, because they have to be like, they're vibrant, that sort of vibrant red anyway. Slightly went off topic, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. So yeah, this is going to take, I'm going to probably hazard a guess and say this is probably going to take at least 3 coats of paint, just basing that on how this is looking so far. I mean, you can see on the camera, it's looking patchy. So we've got some darker pink bits here. Then we're going into a slightly murkier pink here, where that base colour is coming through of the original fabric. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful this is going to look like a pink velvet footstool with real wooden legs. I'm going to paint the legs in a wood effect, but not today. I'm not going to do that today. As you know, I like to keep my lives quite short and to the point. I don't want to bore you all. I always think that I'm really boring. I always think that I'm just going to come on this live and I'm going to talk rubbish for 20 minutes, half an hour, and everyone's going to think, oh, that was really boring. So I don't like keeping people on too long. But that's looking good. That's looking like pink fabric. That doesn't look like something that's been painted, in my honest opinion. Let's see how it dries. Now, I can't. Well, I've also got a dog hair there, imposter dog hair. I can't really speed this up. I mean, I could speed it up with a hairdryer, but we'd still be here for some time. So I'm going to let this dry naturally. And like I say, a really short and sweet. That's how I like to think of myself, short and sweet. A really short and sweet live today. But I wanted to show you that you don't always just have to paint wooden things. You can also paint fabric. It is possible. And I'm pleased with how that's looking after one coat. It actually looks like faded pink velvet stuff. Velvety type granny fabric, which is basically what it is. Yeah, I like it. And also, you can do paint effects. What brush am I using? I'm using the Belle brush. So I did initially grab this brush, but these are super, super soft. So this is a Dixie Belle synthetic brush. The bristles on the synthetic brushes are quite long. So that's the length difference between the bristles. These used to be a natural bristle brush. Now they're a synthetic. And I absolutely love these little brushes. I use these quite a lot. So the reason I went for this over this is because I needed to work the paint into the fibres. I needed it to be a little bit more stabby, and these bristles are quite stiff because they're short and there's quite a lot of them. They stay quite stiff, so I thought they'd stab the paint in the fibres better. Whereas this, as soon as it hits the surface, it's very soft, and that's why these are really good for smooth paint finishes, because they don't sort of drag on the surface. They're really, really super soft, and the bristles are more sort of flexible and bendier than these. These are just more of a, you see how that's not bending? That's like a rigid bristle, whereas the bristles on here just bend and flex, and that's what gives you your smooth finish. So I went for that because I thought it would help me, like, how did I get this job? I thought it would help me stab in the, I'm talking about a paintbrush, don't take this off air or anything. I thought it would work the paint into the fibres of the fabric better. And it did. It's worked a charm. Now, like I say, I know it's patchy. That's one coat of peony, lots of water on the surface first, and then I just went straight in with peony on a damp brush and worked it into the fibres. So I will probably make this into a little reel or something on social media, so make sure you follow me, because I also know that I'm quite an impatient person, and for me to come back and do a second coat on here in a week's time, I'll have wanted this done and dusted by then. So if I can hold on, I will, and I'll finish it with you, but I can't make any promises on that one. So yeah, go and find yourself a little upholstered project. I really also want to do painted curtains. That's something on my to-do list, but I just feel like I needed to experiment on something not quite so large scale to begin with. So yeah, that's that. If you've got any questions, obviously you can drop them in the comments below. Once the video's finished, I will see the comments. It's just when I'm live, the comments go very quickly. YouTube want me to read them lightning fast and comment and reply straight away, but once the video is published and you're watching on replay, the comments do stay there. So feel free to drop me any questions if you have any, and I'll try my best to answer them. But like I say, this is actually the first time painting chalk mineral paint on fabric, so, and I like it so far. I'm impressed. Or you can message me on any of my social media channels, and I will try and help you out if I can. So that's that. I can't really do much more because it's wet through. So I'm going to let this dry, and then I will come back, do a second coat, assess whether it needs a third, and then I'll do something with the legs, and we'll have a completely different looking stool. It won't be a granny stool anymore. It'll be a funky stool, hopefully, if it turns out right. So I will go and I will let you enjoy. Oh, too high. I'll let you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for joining me on this short and sweet live. The possibilities of painting are endless. Just doesn't have to be wood, fabric, anything, walls. I've just finished editing this little short video on here. Oh, thank you, Catherine. That's nice of you to say. I've just finished editing the little short video. So I've done a longer length video for Dixie Belle's YouTube channel, which obviously I'm on now. I don't know if this one's up yet, but I did a longer version for them, for their YouTube channel, on this textured wall, and I've just finished doing a short version of it for my social media channels, because I've had loads of people ask. Apparently orange walls are an in thing at the minute. Do you have to seal the fabric with the top coat? You made drop cloth curtains and hand painted them. That sounds absolutely amazing, Cherie. That's what I wanted to do. So backstory, this is boring. We've lived in this house for 10 years. The curtains have basically, I inherited with the house. They fit our bay window beautifully, but they're a bit dated, and I can't find curtains that I like. So I was going to buy some plain, just like calico curtains, and I was going to paint them and maybe do some prints or something, stencil or something. I don't know. Anyway, that was my plan. I had that idea about 5 years ago, and I haven't started it. So maybe one day, maybe one day I'll do it. And with regards to the other question about sealing it, you can use Best Dang wax, but you can also use Easy Peasy Spray Wax. So I'm probably going to use Easy Peasy Spray Wax on this one, but I will let you know. Anything else that's like a top coat that you paint on, like a clear coat or gator hide, that is going to give you that like crispiness, because those top coats sit on top of the paint finish, whereas the waxes are kind of something that is worked into the paint finish. So they work better, and they give you a better kind of fabric feel than a top coat, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm going to be using Easy Peasy Spray Wax, I believe, on this one. I think, haven't 100% made up my mind, but again, I will share the process to social media, so make sure you're following me there. Make sure you are subscribed to the Dixie Belle YouTube channel as well, because I'll be here next week doing something different. And until then, I'll catch you later. Thank you for watching, as always. Bye.